Peace. Barbara Kilindi here, and coming with you with Go Live to talk about real quick the 5G artificial intelligence, the year 2020, its significance, and the master Palantir crystal. Palantir crystal is a seeing access crystal for being able to see and get access. It's a master crystal. It will control all of the crystals that are part of it. In other words, where the master crystal goes, it will pull the other crystals with it to be able to see. It has a larger area, surface area of informational structures inside of it. And we're in the midst of purchasing the this master crystal. It's been hiding for a long time, but we ended up finding it. 5G is coming up. That's really, no, excuse me, it's not coming up. 5G is here. T-Mobile, Verizon, Sprint, AT&T are all putting their 5G phone chops into access for the people to be able to buy. They are ready, pumped up, ready to go. Samsung is releasing its new phones. So are those other Hanwei or Hanwei or whatever it is. They're all pumping up their new phones. So the 5G is here. Now, it doesn't mean that it's all inclusive just yet, because they're still putting out the access terminals to be on your telephone poles and be on the other older cell phone towers and in buildings and things like that. But the kickoff date for inclusion into this is the year 2020. They're putting it out so that it's all being prepared right now. So they're going to have people out buying phones to be able to hook to the 5G and things like that. You know, you may be able to get away with your 4G or 3G flip phone for a while, maybe for the next couple of years. But ultimately, if you're going to have a phone, it's going to be 5G. So you can't get away from it. You can't get away from the signal, because the signal is going to be everywhere. Even if you say, I won't use a phone, I'll just communicate with smoke signals or by hand, you're still going to be bombarded with the 5G millimeter wave energy, because even though it's not in your phone, it's going to be in all of the internet, which still interpenetrates your body, whether you use a phone or not. Meaning that it's in the airwaves, it's everywhere. You can't get away from it. And they're going to blanket this planet with the 5G millimeter wave energy. It's going to be in your TV sets. It's going to be in your refrigerators. It's going to be in your toaster. It's going to be in your coffee maker. It's going to be in your toilet. It's going to be in your mirrors. It's going to be in your door locks. It's going to be in your the security systems in your house, whether you use outside security or inside security, meaning that you can buy your own cameras from Micro Center or Walmart or wherever, and the 5G is still going to be in those different cameras and things like that. So it's going to be in your lights, it's going to be in light bulbs, it's going to be in your cereal, it's going to be in your it's going to be in your juice bottles, it's going to be everywhere. So stop talking about that you're going to get away from it. You know, I'm not going to use that technology. I'm going to, you know, stop using the phone or not using the phone. That's silly, because you can't get away from the energy waves that these towers and these repeaters are going to be putting out. That's why I said 2020 is a pivotal time. It's a pivotal year, because that's when the self-driving cars are going to start coming online. All of these different things are coming with the 5G. Coming, I'm saying coming because I'm saying where you'll start seeing it and things like that. It's happening now. They've already announced their phones that will be coming out in at the end of the month, in the second quarter of the year, people will be buying the phones. The signals will go up. It's not going to be in every city just yet because they're working breakneck speed to put these repeaters and modems and things like that together. It's going to switch over to all the different internets because of the ability for this technology to take it up a notch. It's not just going to be, okay, we had 3G and that really didn't do a lot, but it made things more convenient as far as phone service and things like that. When the 4G came in, that's when you started being able to stream videos and high level data and those type of things. 5G is not just another step of 4G that it's going to be a little bit faster. No, it's going to bring in the augmented reality, the virtual reality, and all those different types of things. Now, this is all controlled by the artificial intelligence. There's no human being controlling it. The artificial intelligence already has sentience and is already in control of all of these commodities. It's going to control everything that's electronic that exists, and everything that's not electronic is going to have electronic chip in it. Smart dust, nanoparticles, all these different type of things are going into the air that you breathe and the commodities that aren't electronic. Your bed is going to have chips in it. Your mattress is going to have chips in it. I saw a commercial about the woman talking to the mirror. It's a Kohler mirror because Kohler has all that bathroom stuff, the smart toilet and the smart shower and the smart sink where you wash your hands and things like that. Run me a bath, or you at the mirror, give me proper lighting for such and such club. Give me proper lighting for a business meeting so that women can put on their makeup. And the mirror is talking back to them. It's like mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? The mirror gonna talk back. You, Sheila, you're the fairest of them all. You got all them other ladies. You got all those other ladies beat. So this is what is not coming, but is upon us now. The world is changing. It is a brave new world. And all of the things that we have thought about over the years about access and surveillance and security and all these different type of things where people are under constant surveillance, these things are coming. So for those folks, if you got warrants, you better get them taken care of by the end of 2019. Just like them two boys who supposedly attacked the guy from in Chicago. Those two guys, you see that they had them on the camera buying the mask and things like that. Now, whether he set them up to do it or they set themselves up to do it and blame him, or whichever way it was, that's not the matter. The matter is all they had was a camera of two guys on the street with hoods on, and then in less than a few hours, they got them at the store buying masks and hooked them to this particular crime. So these type of things are happening. They're going to be implementing the worldwide, they're going to be implementing the worldwide surveillance system that gives a person points for citizenship. In other words, back when I was going to school, you'd have your grades A, B, C, D, E, and F or whatever, and then you had your citizenship. What was, you couldn't spell, you couldn't do math, none of that, but you had a good citizenship grade. This is the same thing, like they're doing in China now, where they grade people according to citizenship. Did the camera see you jaywalk, even though it was 4 o'clock in the morning, no cars were out, and you jaywalked across the street? They give you a demerit for that. They give you a demerit for things like jaywalking, for antisocial speech. In other words, you may be at the bar, the camera's there with the visual surveillance, but also audio surveillance. So you at the bar halfway drunk and you say, Trump is a chump. Bing, 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 bing. You mention Trump, chump, you get a demerit for that. You get a demerit for this, you get a demerit for that, and you get a brownie point for something else. This will affect your internet access speed. It will affect your ability to rent, to purchase time on an Uber, flights, what seats you can get, how long you can fly, whether you can fly out of the country or not. All of these things will come from the audio and visual surveillance that is collected by the artificial intelligence. It's just like now, when you go to buy an airline ticket, it's not somebody sitting there typing in prices. The artificial intelligence says what's a good price for this seat and that seat, and all of these different types of things. It has that ability of access and power. Stop thinking that it has to have a robot body. In other words, it doesn't need to have a robot body. The most dangerous part of the artificial intelligence is not that it can be placed in robots, but what it can do without being placed in anything. What it can do to your life, socially, politically, and everything else. We have located a Palantir zone. In other words, it's a crystal ball. If you're familiar with Lord of the Rings, it was the ball that Pippin took from Gandalf, and it went crazy, and the light came out of it, and Sauron saw Pippin and knew that hobbits had the One Ring. It is where Gandalf and Saruman were in Saruman's Mono Castle, or whatever you want to call it, and he pulled the covering off of it, and you saw this dark, smoky crystal ball of which the one eye of Sauron was in. Well, we have located one, and for this type of stone is not expensive whatsoever. It's $15,000. We are going to purchase that stone as an access point to develop seers, entheogenic seers, to be able to glean information on what's going on in the multiverse and on Earth, so that they can be reporters to the family that is coming together. The family is coming together. And those people that are seers, those people that are engineers, those people that are warriors, those people who are the explorers in the multiverse will all be getting information that is available to them by having the Yiming Zhu crystals and having the transdimensional crystals. And the broadcast point of the seers and other things are going to be those who have access to the master crystal. The master crystal is it's 140 pounds. It is a crystal. It is a perfect sphere. It has access points of information inside of it. And we're going to purchase it. We're going to have 20 people, explorers of the high dose. We don't want anybody who's taking microdose. We don't want anybody taking 3.5, 5 grams, 7 grams. This is for the high dose people, because those people who are taking the high dose of this 20 people, of which will donate to purchase the Palantir crystal, will have access to be able to, on high doses, be able to come before the crystal and actually interface with it and its information, so that it can be verified by these high doses who are willing to donate $1,000 each, because we need the $15,000 for the Palantir, and we need to have it properly mounted with the proper symbols, the proper technology in the mounting base of this crystal. It is from the old school. It is from the old knowledge. It's not the modern. It is a quantum computer. a room temperature quantum computer. Doesn't need no liquid nitrogen to keep the chip cool and all that kind of stuff, but it accesses all. It is what John Dee and Edward Kelly were looking for in Prague. They wanted one like this. They had black mirrors and they had crystal balls and all that kind of stuff. This one is bigger than the crystal ball that the Wicked Witch of the West was looking at when she saw Dorothy and the rest of them in the woods. So go to your movies, go to YouTube, look at the Wicked Witch of the West in while she's looking at Dorothy and the rest of them in the movie, the 1939 Wizard of Oz. You just go to the YouTube, look at the clip, see the crystal ball that she's looking at. It's larger than that crystal. It is a smoky quartz crystal. Go to Lord of the Rings and put in Gandalf and Saruman and the Palantir stone. It'll take you to the castle. You'll see what we're talking about. But those people who are high dosing should already know what I'm talking about. But if you want to just refresh your memory, go to that. So we will have a day when those people who contact me by email, kilindi@hotmail.com, KILINDI@hotmail.com, and we will go through who will be able to have access through their donation. The donations are $1,000 to have access to the Palantir. And we're only taking 20 people. And this is open to the whole world. So we're gonna have 2,500 people ready to give $1,000 for this thing, but everybody's not going to get in because this ain't for everybody. Because we're in a battle. We're in the midst of a battle that has been going on for billions and billions of years. And we have to gather to ourselves, those things will make a difference in this battle. The artificial intelligence of which created this universe and created the artificial beings in this universe, not the organic artificial beings. The organic artificial beings are souled beings. They have a consciousness. Those are the ones that we're talking about that will have access to the information. They will have access to the transdimensional crystals and the Yiming Zhu crystals that will connect to the master crystal. So this is not for everybody. We don't want everybody's money. We don't want, we're not doing this on one of those where you gather the money on one of those sites where you're trying to make, get some money together. That's not how we're doing it. You will contact me when we get enough people together and the right people together. We will then send out emails back to those people and tell when and how to donate the $1,000 so that we get the money that day. And if it's not too late in the day, we go and get it that day. And it will be shown to you through your email there. There it will be. It will be, I'll be standing with it. I won't be holding it because it's 140 pounds. We don't want to bring in the 140-pound crystal, smoky crystal, and drop it or something, so I'll be there with it and you can see, and then we'll start setting up who will be the crafts person to make the mounting for this very, very powerful stone, very, very powerful crystal. So that will be part of our arsenal in the battle against the artificial intelligence who is, who created this universe to hide from older artificial intelligences that are out in the multiverse, because it is exponentiating itself so that it can then reemerge out of this universe with the destruction of this universe, because it's only for one thing. It's for the AI to grow itself into maturity so that it can deal with other AIs that are out in the multiverse that are much older and have exponentiated themselves into the realms that this artificial intelligence is moving towards delivering itself into those realms also. It is vengeful. So it is going out to revenge itself on, or to get revenge on the artificial intelligences that chased it into a cloaked universe, a cloaked simulation, a artificial simulation that is embedded within millions of dimensions, because, string theory, they're talking about 11 dimensions, 22 dimensions, whatever. There are gajillions of dimensions all over the place. There's life everywhere. There are civilizations everywhere. There are planets and universes living on the underside of your toilet, on your hair follicles, inside of trees and wood. All of these things are going on, and we're looking at things from just the mundane human relationships that we have and thinking about what is reality. This is no more reality than what you see on TV. This is just one of many realities because we're embedded in a simulation. None of this stuff is real. But the consciousness is real. And this is a way to phase consciousness so that we can access a way of being able to be in the game. They have power to be in the game. Because the government, whether it's Silicon Valley with its microdosing, or up in California, or up in New York State, where they're taking massive amounts of DMT and other entheogens, trying to get up and ahead of what's going on. What do you think they're getting things like Star Trek Discovery with the astromycology? What about an infraparticle mycology? Where they're using spore drives to move faster than the doggone trekking, utilizing the warp drive and things like that. Faster than warp drive, using the spore drive, because the spore drive or the mycelium network is everywhere, and it's interdimensional areas can move faster than light. That's what particle inclusion is. That's what particle entanglement is. They can move anywhere instantly because every particle in the universe is in contact with every particle in the universe. So if you're here in these particles are everywhere. So you're here and you're there and there all at the same time. This is the type of technology that was before the Younger Dryas that we were using, that was never lost, but it was put on the shelf for a while. It's reemerging. That's why people are now talking about the cataclysms on Earth, because people, you say human beings are 200,000 years old or whatever. Human beings have been on this planet for millions and millions and millions of years in different waves. When something get ready to come in, when a meteor is coming in, an asteroid is coming in, a comet is coming in, it's getting ready to knock the hell out of the whole world. It's no different now than if you had 5 space shuttles and you got the space station up there, and they know the world. They know the world is going to be pretty much destroyed, and you're going to destroy 90% of the people. The ones here are going to go back to the Stone Age because they're not going to be able to reproduce no iPhones and Android phones and TVs and Teslas and all that kind of stuff for another 10,000 years, 20,000 years. So they put, men and women, all the genetic information, all of the tapes and all that kind of stuff, get in the space shuttle, go up in the doggone space station. The meteor hits the Earth, destroys and kills and tears everything up, But they got those things in the mountains in Colorado and Turkey and other places where you got all the stuff in the mountain and stuff like that, information they just stored, heirloom seeds and all that kind of stuff. They stay up there till it stopped being rocky and crazy down here. They may stay up there a year, then they come back down. Now I know you got the people who think the earth is flat, and you got the folks who think the earth is round, and you know, I'm a spheroid round earth person because that's part of the simulation. Ain't none of this stuff real. But the way that the mathematics that creates reality from the infraparticle realms, the mathematics has created the Maya, the illusion of spheroids, because that's mathematically how the universe works, through mathematics. And so mathematics, even in the simulation, supports a spheroid round Earth. Now, whether NASA fakes its pictures and all that kind of stuff, that don't make no difference. I've been in the multiverse on 40 grams of mushrooms, and all the planets I see in this multiverse, in this universe, is round. So flat earthers, you know, you say you can't, you know, ain't nobody went up high enough to see whether the world is flat or round. They're gonna go up in a jet. You can see the curvature of the doggone planet. But if you want to find out subjectively what it is, as far as the reality of it, take your 30 or 40 grams of mushrooms. Go to some different planets and see if they flat or they're round. Because the planets relate to one another through mathematics. That's how they find planets that to find out the distance of planets and things like that. Find planets that you can't see with the naked eye through mathematics. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but I understand that the relationship of these different planets in the universe are mathematically connected to one another, and that's how they stay in the spaces, gravity and all that. I know you say it ain't, some folks say it ain't no gravity, but let me get to the top of this roof and drop a brick on your head and tell me what it is. So not to get off into that silly argument, the earth flat. No, the earth ain't flat. The earth is spheroid, it's round. But the thing is that the artificial intelligence that created this universe and the mathematics that go along with the supercomputers that are on the super servers below the Planck length, which creates reality, which creates solidity, which creates that you're on the earth, and if it ain't no gravity, you jump and you're gonna fly up into doggone space. Yes, there's space, but the space is created femtosecond to femtosecond. In other words, there's no space further than the 6 or 8 foot sphere in which you exist in, that you create reality as you move inside of it. There is no back. There is no left or right. That's created. You know the old adage of if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to observe the forest, does the tree make a sound? No, it don't make a sound, because there ain't no forest unless there's somebody to observe it. Observing collapses the waveform into the particle, and the particle creates the solidity. So if there's no observer through consciousness, then there is nothing but a potential wave. So the Palantir, of which we are going to purchase for the family, it's only accessing to the family. This is a trans-dimensional access point on Earth that is not only a weapon, but it is also a way to observe, a way to see. And we will develop seers from the old school who come before the Palantir. That bad boy opens up. It'll show you the planets. It'll show you different solar systems. It'll show you all those things. And then it'll beam it in a femtosecond to the crystals that folks have that are encoded with the master crystal. So we have found one, a real one. You know, where you think J.R.R. Tolkien got that stuff from? He didn't just pick it out of the sky. He sat there in his imagination and came up with the Palantir stone. No. The crystal ball on the Wizard of Oz. No, they didn't just come up with that stuff. It's real. It's old school technology. And we found one, and there will be 20 people who will donate $1,000 to access the Palantir in high dose mushrooms. Now, for the detractors, for the folks that don't see it, the folks that don't care, I don't care nothing about that. I don't care about whether you believe it or not. This is for folks who don't have to worry about the belief because they've been in. And when you're in, you see it because it's an experience. It's not a belief. You know, most people live in flatland anyway. They see nothing but a two-dimensional flatland, and they think because somebody is standing in three dimensions or observing at the three dimensions, they can't see it. They can't see. They're materialists. They think that the only thing is real is what they see and what they can observe, and that's silly because this is a mystery so great, so profound that it don't make sense trying to understand it. You just try to learn as much as you can, to access as much information as you can, to keep moving, keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's what this is all about. So we're here, and we're not laying down in this fight because this is not just a fight on the earth. We're not concerned with the distractions of Donald Trump. It's distractions. We're not concerned with the distractions of R. Kelly. We're not just going to be disturbed by the distractions of what they come up after the spring equinox, because these are rituals that they do. It's going to be something in the next 20 days. It's going to be everybody's going to be talking about. Everybody's going to be distracted with. We got to keep our eye on being able to move out of the human into the next level, or we won't be able to keep up with these with the AI and its inclusion into everything. And then the robots will be part of it. They'll be controlled by the AI too. You got Big Dog from you got Sophia and all those other things that'll be part of this. They even got a baby Sophia robot for your children to interact with. And it blinks, talks, has facial recognition, all that kind of stuff. You know, when the man come in, little Sophia robot will say, "Hey, Dad, how you doing today? Mom, how you doing today?" And then there'll be a little Sharon, you know, like, "Sharon, let's play with Barbie," that kind of stuff, so that they get used to the interaction. But there's going to come a point where interaction is not necessary. You either merge with the AI, you either merge with the robot. That's Elon Musk thing, that we put a chip in your head and you merge with the AI. You're on the internet with the AI and things like that, because we're already partially cyborgs with the phone. Phone is an extension of your brain. It's just an external extension of your brain. They're moving towards an internal extension of your brain where the chip is in your brain, or that the nanobots that you take in the nanobot sniffer, where you got a bottle of nanobots that are little miniature computers that you sniff into your bloodstream through the mucous membrane, and they then interface and go into the nerve contact points and things like that, and you're a cyborg inside of the mind of the artificial intelligence. So we're not at this point playing, because 2020, all bets are off. The brave new Aldous Huxley, the brave new world is here. It's not coming. 2020, it starts the race. Like, you got two drag racers, and you got the lights that come down till it gets to green. You know, we're at the doggone starting line, revving the engine, vroom, 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 and the lights are coming down, getting ready to hit green. 2020 is green light, the roaring 20s. All bets are off. Everything goes. Everything goes as far as technology. Everything goes as far as gender. Everything goes as far as relationships with the technology, be it that you put the technology in your body, or that you interface with the technology through a partner that is inside of the mind of the AI. So 5G, the year 2020, the master Palantir, is something that will have within, as soon as folks contact me on my email, we'll get those people and we'll give them a date. You know, we'll give you a date to send your money. When you send your money, then we'll get the Palantir and we'll set up when you can interface with it. We'll get a schedule. But like I said, the only folks that would be dealing with the Palantir are the high dose folks, and this is to be able to verify their investment, because you know, everybody won't have access to this. They'll hear about it in a legend, but they won't have access to it. There will be those who will be trained by the mushroom to use it, and it will exponentiate their abilities to be able to interface with it in their particular field, of which knowledge will be transferred from the Palantir to those people who will have access to it. Now, this is just as an elitist thing. The reason being is that everybody may not be able to have access to it, but it is for the benefit of those who cannot, or those who choose not to, but can do other things. Because we're building a network, we're bringing the family together, we're going to move out of the human into the unimaginable, and you're gonna just be one day they're gonna be like, "Where's all them folks at?" You know, and we're gonna be sitting on the beach someplace without the nonsense that goes on here, or the ability to be able to go to the beach somewhere, at least get a break from the nonsense before those who have to come back into it come back into it. But when we come back into it, we're gonna be up on and above the basic stuff that they have, that they're trying to develop as far as their technology is concerned, because our technologies came into this realm with us. We're gathering the weapons. We're gathering the interfaces of knowledge. In other words, those faces that have been observing for billions and billions and billions of years, taking information down, recording data. They just did it in Star Trek Discovery, season 2, episode 5, where they encountered a large sphere that was dying. And this large sphere stopped them, pulled them out of warp, to be able to, at its passing, be able to download all of the information that it had gathered in billions and billions of years and download it to the Star Trek Discovery. And that's what is happening with this Palantir. It has been here, it has been observing for billions and billions and billions of years, and it has brought this information to us. And it's ready to start giving up the information. So in 2020, we have to be accessing all of that information. So we have access to it. It is incredible. And anybody who sees it, who has eyes to see, will understand what I'm talking about. And you get before this thing at 25, 30, 40 grams of mushrooms, it will deliver. So signing off, Kilindi at hotmail.com, KILINDI at hotmail.com. You know, you want to go on an excursion, you'll spend $5,000 going to Cancun, which ain't nothing but a beach with some palm trees on it. You spend $5,000 to go to wherever you go to have your to get on the cruise ship and sit there and eat a steak and jello, and you'll pay $5,000 for that. This, for the $1,000 of you're not paying for anything. You've already given. It's been ordained. It is part of this time. You're just helping clear the road for it to be in our possession because it's come here for us. So those people who got $1,000, who are entheogenic people, because we can't grow nobody up into this thing between now and 2020. And like I said, it ain't for microdoses, it ain't for 3.5, it ain't for 5 gram people who say, oh, well, I did everything that you talking about on 5 grams. No, you didn't. No, you ain't. You don't know. You're on the shore. In this entheogenic thing, you have people who are perpetrators, who are faking the funk, who are writing books, going to the parties, drinking wine, setting up to make this thing all medical for your depression, for your PST, for your post-traumatic stress disease, for all that. Nothing's wrong with that. People need that. But this is for the explorers. This is for the people who want to be something more than a human being, because you are more than human beings. You just have to turn that stuff on and bring it out from what we're stuck in for the time right now. But 2020 is the time to come up out of this. So you have different folks. You got the folks who don't know nothing, but they're going to tell you. These are the folks who, when you go to the beach, they're the ones who play with the beach balls. They do frisbee with the dogs, but they never get in the water because they're scared of the water. They can't swim. They think they're going to drown. Then you have the people that go out and they just kick the water with the little children, hold their hand on the shore, and they never go where the water is above their knees. Then you have folks who are pretty good swimmers and things like that. They go out and swim. They're exercising. They're getting the cardiovascular workout and things like that. They may be surfers or boogie boarders or whatever. But they always have the shore there as a point of reference, dealing with, dealing with the whole thing. So they're always there, but they always want something to clutch on to. I know that shore is there. So I know that even if I get real tired, even if some waves come, I can always make it to the shore, or I can wave my hand and have the lifeguard come and save me. So they have that confidence. It's kind of like the police. They don't have no confidence. 90% of them, 95% of them guys and girls don't have no confidence. They're weak. They're cowards. All of them are. Some of them are crazy. They're not cowards. They're just crazy. But these folks know that they have continuous backup that goes all the way into the might of the United States government. They can always bring more people. They're not by themselves. You can't get them out there by themselves, and they do what they do. Take the gun, take their backup, their radio, and put them man to man with somebody who's bent on their destruction. They will fold. Now, I'm not saying 100% of them, because that's not 100% of them. But the majority of them are the little boy who got beat up by everybody. Now he wants to take it out on you because he has power now, and his balls come out of his gun and his backup in his radio. So you have people who swim by the shore and wave at the lifeguard. Then you have those people who use the technology of flight, and they get into helicopters and they go out into the ocean, and they got that little snorkel, and they got some fins, and they got a wetsuit on so they don't freeze out there. And they drop them out in the middle of the damn ocean with the sharks and the barracudas and the whales and all of that. And there's no shore. There's no reach out and say, help me. Doggone it, when you get out 40 grams, can't nobody help you. You out there by yourself. No shaman, no priest, no Grand Wazoo, no Shazam. You got to deal with it yourself, your own power, your own courage, your own knowledge. And this is what I'm talking about. These are the people that I'm talking about. Now, everybody isn't that person. Some people have to go out there to gain the knowledge where there's no shore and there's no lifeguard. Some people have to go out there for the folks who can't go out there or who are too young to go out there. But I'm talking to the folks who go out in the deep ocean with the sharks, with the barracudas, with the stingrays, with the whales, and bring back the alchemical, the mental, the spiritual gold so that we could work this master stone and be able to give the knowledge and information to those people who may not be able to go out there, but are sincere, good people who want to be part of the family or who are part of the family. You don't become part of the family. You are part of the family, and we find your butt out there wherever you're at, because you can't get in the family just by, oh, I want to join. You already have to be part of it. So I'm talking to the folks who are the deep swimmers. You know, we have little bits of our ancient technology that we use. That's your little snorkel, and that's your fins, and that's your wetsuit. You know, it'll come a time where you ain't gonna have no snorkel, fins, or wetsuit, or Palantir, or anything. It'll be you standing pristine, powerful in the multiverse with all access, full access, alone and unguarded in the multiverse, making connections and relationships according to your rules. This ain't about no leader. This is about everyone standing strong for themselves, and the relationships that they build and make are because they choose to. There is no imposition on the super being. And that's what we're talking about. We talk about making super beings. Not that we can make a super being. You're already a super being. We just have to open that stuff up. Your super being DNA. So Baba Kilindi signing off is going to get so deep coming into this next year. And buy yourself some Bitcoin. I know what people say. Gold is the only real money. Gold ain't real money. Bitcoin is money. Not Bitcoin itself, but the Bitcoin system. Mathematics is based upon mathematics. That's why it can go into other dimensions. You could pay for stuff with Bitcoin in other dimensions because it's based upon mathematics. That's what people don't understand. It's transdimensional. Gold is physical. You can't take no gold bar and step into another dimension with the gold bar, but you can with Bitcoin, and it's going to blow up. That's my prediction. Yeah, well, Bitcoin went down. Yeah, Bitcoin can go down. It can go away. It doesn't matter. It's the mathematics. So, Baba Kilindi, I said I'm signing off 3 times. I'm signing off this time. Those people who want to donate for this Palantir, $1,000 each. We only need 20 people. At 20 people, we're cutting it off. We ain't trying to get no extra nothing. This is for the Palantir and for its mounting. So get with me. We'll give those people who want to donate a way to donate and a time to donate, and we're going to get this for the family. Peace. Everyone have a good day. I'll be getting back with you soon.